Welcome to this second season of Season Day Scholar. Hi, Manish Kumar is your host, and today we are going to talk with Professor Nabeel Khan Niazi, who is Associate Professor at Institute of Soil and Environmental Science, University of Agriculture, Faisalabad, Pakistan. And he has done PhD from the University of Sydney, Australia. He could make it very naturally to this program, which says it has to be a scholar that is seasoned. And he is naturally, I would say that rather better than many, not only seasoned, but highly performing a scholar, because as his CV says, he is listed in the highly cited researcher 2021 in Environment and Ecology by Collaborate Web of Science. He has been also listed among top 2% environmental scientists. That is released by the Mendeley, and had made a lot of noise, and that some recognition came to the hardworking researchers in last 2 years, because since then, every year lists are being updated, people celebrate being in that list and coming to that list, which I think when the first time I started, Professor Niazi could make it. Professor Niazi and I share some similar research interest, and that is why we are crossing each other's path. And eventually we came to know about each other, and then now this acquaintance or regards for each other has turned it into friendship. But still we have to collaborate on research-wise, but yes, that will be also a cross-border collaboration that is there. So welcome, Professor Niazi. I don't know which name you would like to be called, Nabeel or Niazi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be very happy with Nabeel, I think. So thank you so much, Manish, and I'm really happy that you considered myself to include in this seasoned scholar interviews, which is actually, I think it's a very good kind of series that you are doing. I have listened some of the interviews that you have already done from world's renowned scientists. Some of them are editor-in-chiefs of very popular journals like Stoughton.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big honor, for me that you considered my contributions in science, and I was thinking that, my God, Manish is saying too much about me. Yes, thing is that we do a lot of things, and then there should be some recognition. I think for a scientist like you and for any other scientist, the recognition is these Web of Science indexes, and if your paper is selected for for a news of in Nature or for a news in Science, which are big journals, this is how community knows you. But once again, I'm very much thankful and grateful that you considered my name to include in this series of interviews. Thank you so much. I'll be happy to be very informal during our discussion. I'll be sharing here many things which maybe nobody knows until now, especially from my very, very basic career to.
This journey, this interview is going to be of 3 parts. So one part I call it as journey and motivation, that there I would like to know your research profile and your how do you reach that, what has been your experience. And then part B, we will be dealing with the troubleshooting lessons for a student or the audience. So that is more centered around that. And the third part will be really, really informal, where you can talk about your favorite food or movies and that. So everything clear?
Yeah.
Let's start. So, Nabeel, I would like you to explain your or describe a little bit briefly your childhood and until your master's. So you can do that one.
Okay, thank you so much, Manish. I think it's kind of a very tricky part. What should I tell and what should I not tell? or should I be
yes.
honest? Should I be honest? So actually, I was brought up in Pakistan, in Punjab. I was born in Multan. Maybe some of you in India, they know about Multan. Where is Multan? So
Because it is cricket ground, so mostly we know that.
yeah, there is a cricket ground as well. Yeah, in Multan, there is a cricket ground. So I was born there, and then I was brought up. I did my primary not in Multan, because we moved from Multan to Faisalabad because my father was doing a job in a pharmaceutical company. And then I moved back to my home city, actually, where my mother and my father, they belong to. It's Miawali. Miawali is known, maybe if you heard about a singer's name, Ataullah Khan Isa Khalvi, he's from Miawali. Then our current Prime Minister, Imran Khan Niazi, he's from Miawali. So I'm also from Miawali, so I'm very proud that my parents also belong to there. And then I did my primary there. After my primary education, I did my matriculation with science subjects that most of the students do, um, from Government Center Model School, Miawali. It is one of the top. It was one of the top schools at that time. I don't know, actually, the quality has been decreasing in all over our subcontinental countries. Then I did my intermediate with pre-medical, because everybody wants to be an engineer or a doctor.
A doctor?
So that's a common thing. That's a common habit in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or in Sri Lanka. Everybody wants to be either a doctor or an engineer. So I joined PAF, Intermediate College Miawali. It's one of the best colleges in Pakistan. So it was very hard actually to get an admission there. So I qualified their test, and then I got an admission there. Then in 1998, I I started, and in 2000 I cleared my examinations with good percentages, and I tried first to appear in the medical examination for MBBS. I couldn't do that, but I never tried after that. I said that I'm not actually fit for that kind of profession. So then I chose to apply either for B Pharmacy or for bachelor's in agriculture. So I got admission in B Pharmacy as well as in agriculture. So I discussed with a couple of friends of my father, and then they suggested, well, it's better actually to go in a bachelor's in agriculture, where you can grow and you can do some kind of specialization in future. You can go for a PhD as well. So I adopted to. Then I was admitted in University of Agriculture, Faisalabad, where actually I'm teaching now as a student in 2000. And I did my bachelor's in agriculture with soil science specialization as a major in 2004. And after 2004, I got admitted in the same university in Masters of Honors program in soil science. And I also got a job in National Bank of Pakistan during that time. So I was doing both things, my job as well as I was studying there. It was very hard, very tough, but I tried to manage it as much as I could. Um, After that, I got a chance from Higher Education Commission of Pakistan in 2007, because at that time they were publishing a lot of scholarships for the students to go abroad, and I applied for that. Um, I missed one part actually. I was married. I was married with Irshad. Irshad, she's my wife, and we got married in 2006 because we met in university during our bachelor's, and then we got married in 2006. In 2007, some scholarships were announced. We both applied. I got from Higher Education Commission of Pakistan a fully funded PhD scholarship for University of Sydney in Australia, and she got a scholarship from University of Sydney that was also a fully funded scholarship. So I joined University of Sydney then in 2008, March 2008. So it was actually a very transforming moment for me, because before that I was working in National Bank of Pakistan for 3 years, and I just got bored of the bank job. It was too tough, go early in the morning, and then you have to sit down until 7 o'clock, and it was too much boring. So that's why I tried to quit that job, and then I developed my full interest in research. I was very much interested in doing some kind of innovative research,
Yeah.
and Yeah, so this is how actually I joined my PhD in University of Sydney. That I then
Yeah, so yeah, you have been very kind because I wanted, because you have covered until PhD, so that is your efficiency. Otherwise, I wanted to know only
yeah.
until bachelor. But okay, here, which is interesting part is that there is a two. One that we want to understand that how was your the environment in your house, whether this higher education or becoming educationist, you have been a middle income group family
Yeah.
or somebody who is, so how was your background and how your parents help you to shape what you are today?
Yeah, I think this is very interesting and very good question. I'm very happy to be honest with it. Uh, Actually, my father, he's an educated person, and he did his master in public administration from University of Punjab. So since our childhood, he taught us two things: that never try to dodge anybody else, be very honest, and always he focused on our education too much. And then he never created a kind of a confined environment in our home. Our home's environment was very kind of liberal environment, and I think that was the base that actually uh, gave us a very good point to pitch all of us, including my other brothers and sisters, to go for the higher education and to make education our career path actually, because I belonged not to a very rich family. uh, we were living kind of a lower middle class background. So not too much lavish money to spend on lavish things, just some kind of needy things, some on Eids or in any kind of festivals used to buy some clothes. But we were living a very happy life, and that actually I think that was the major motivation, that if our father has spent on our standard of life and on our education, then we have to actually pick it up, and we have to use that education as a tool to develop our excellent career and earn money as well and fame as well. So that was the major part
Great.
actually.
You know what? Because yeah, I can see the passion while you talk about your family and your upbringing. Somebody said to me, because I entered in 40s, little bit few years earlier than you, and he was saying me that there are a lot of different thing happens in 40s. I said what? And he said, please come to this zone, you will know. So my question is that how has been your 3 decades? If you want to compartmentalize these 3 decades, can you crisp your learning that what was the 10 to 20 and 20 to 30 major milestones in that decades?
uh, yeah, it's hard, but I will
You don't
try.
need to be precise.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah.
yeah, actually I think the years from 10 and to then teenaging, and then you come to 20s. So that is kind of lovely age where you don't have, a lot of responsibilities. And then you have to only worry about, little bit of your education. And you have to then, when you go to the school, like I think I suppose that I was in teenage when I joined the college. So college life was very interesting life, but that college was kind of Air Force college. It was very strict there, so we couldn't enjoy that much as you can enjoy in a kind of a government college, whereas you don't have a lot of. So during that time, I think I didn't. I would say that I used to go with my friends after my tuition, that to sit in a samosa shop, eating some yummy samosas. What is samosa? It's very, so that is the charm in that life. Then some special kind of sometimes chane pie. Chane pie is very good
Yeah.
dish there.
Mhm.
Yes, when I then moved to the university, about I was I think 18 or 19 years. 19 years old. So when I moved to the university, so it was actually kind of a different environment, because I was living in a hostel there, and no boundaries on you. Nobody's checking you. What are you doing there? Whether you are smoking or whether you are doing some kind of other activities, you are not studying. Nobody's asking you why you are not studying, even not the teachers, not your friends. So you have everything on your own. But the good thing is that I spent actually my first 2 years. I wasted a lot of time. My CGPA was very down, and I think, yeah, that's the truth. And after that, I got very good friends, and then I met with my wife. Now she's my wife, so she actually, I think, got a very good influence on my attitude, learning attitude, to put up that how to tackle the responsibilities and how to show up myself in my education, because that was very important, if I was really interested to build up my career, because that was the only thing that I have got at that time. I didn't get a big bank balance. My father was not a factory mill, he was not
Honor.
a boss. Yeah,
Mm.
honor. So I realized things. Then I working hard, and I brought up my CGPA also when I did my bachelor's, and same thing it happened in my master's as well. So I think that hostel period was very good, because I learned a lot of social skills there. I learned a lot of skills that actually pay you during your later on stages, because uh, I started teaching students at the homes. I started tuition because I was also earning money, at least to spend, to bear my own expenses, my monthly expenses, and then to pay fees. So I got also one scholarship during my masters. Then I got a job during my masters. So this is how actually I spent my whole day. But it was very hard working. I did a lot of hard work during whole that education period. I think that sometimes I say to my son that that I couldn't actually enjoy my life like a teenager should enjoy, because actually my mother died in 1999 when I was doing my first year, and after that all the responsibility came to me, and then so honestly speaking, I think that how the teenagers, you see in the movies, or you see that how the teenagers enjoy. They have no too much responsibility. So I tried my best to do work and to enjoy, but then there are some kind of things that couldn't actually push me too much far away, because I got feel that I have some kind of responsibility, because I was the eldest son in my home, and that's why I think I still feel that I couldn't enjoy that much. Actually, I had to do at that time.
Okay, Nabeel, there are, see, that is the beauty. I am also the eldest son, or you can say and I can completely feel or concur with you that you said
Yeah,
that I didn't enjoy much, and so do I. But I can
yeah,
tell you that I compensated later
yeah,
when I was in
yeah.
Japan,
That's good.
and after that I compensated. So what I can see is that you have been a hard worker,
Yeah,
because one thing strikingly I have seen that there is no gap in your academic line.
yeah,
It
yeah. I
means
don't
it
have a gap.
is
Yeah,
so 2004, then
yeah,
2006, then
yeah,
2008. I mean, there is no
yeah,
gaps, but still
yeah.
you could manage to do bank job for 3 years.
Yeah.
How did that
So
happen?
that was the most hard period, because banking. I learned actually a lot of good things during my 3 years banking career, especially the public dealing, the social networking, and then how to deal, with the people, how to talk with the people. Because my job was not only to disperse advances or for the credit, but I had to go into the field, meet with the farmers, meet with the corporate sector, big farmers like in our Sargodha region. So your question is that how I managed it. Yeah, it was really hard. So I told you that my wife, she was my mate. She was my fellow in my class. So I used to come sometimes 2 times a week, or at least one time in a week, to check my research. when I was doing that. And the good thing is that actually most of the coursework I finished in my first semester, and I got my job in the second semester. So this is how I manage my coursework. And then my research, actually Ishad was taking care of all my research in my absence. And then I used to come every week from Sargodha to Faisalabad and to meet my supervisor and to see my research as well. And then I did all my synopsis in my banking hours, late nights work. And also I wrote my thesis during my banking time, late nights on the weekend work. So I think it was very hard time, but it is well paid off. So if you actually really push yourself to something else, it is painful, but then it pays you as well, especially for those people who are from the very lower background.
Actually, one more thing that I have seen strikingly in your CV is that you have been throughout first class, and of course you have had distinctions in several times. And for my audience, just I am saying that out of 4 CGPA, you won 3.75 in your bachelor, in master 3.87. This is very high ranked and high marking, and especially in those days. Nowadays, you can get 10 out of 10.
Yeah, nowadays, I understand that. I know
yeah.
that.
I envy, I
agree.
feel that how can somebody be so perfect, because this is, perfect is not a human thing.
Yeah.
We are always
Yeah,
trying to have perfectness rather than have perfect. So this
yeah.
has been a very throughout high consistent. And what was very special in your I would say work is that you were not a hardworking. Perhaps you continued it even after PhD, because
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
year you are going to complete a decade of your PhD.
Yeah.
You completed
Yeah.
or earned your degree in 2012, sorry, which means that now 2022 you will complete 10 years. And within that 10 years, you could mark it into the most cited scholar and those things. So I think you have not stopped enjoying even after becoming PhD. Tell me if I am wrong.
Yeah, I think, Manish, you are probably right a little bit. I think that's why I got that cervical problem, because I didn't care about my health. And I think I will never suggest anybody else to push yourself too much, especially if you are going to push yourself. At least you have to take care of your posture. You have to take care of that. You have to stand up and you have to stretch your body. Because I got this cervical issue in 2017 when I was in Germany. I got some disc issue there. I didn't care about that too much. But now, I have stopped working too much. And most of the time, I try to avoid stress and I try to avoid so much thinking. But I give time only to the students. I train them. So this is how I'm managing myself now. But, still I cannot, I don't know. It's kind of an addiction. Work is an addiction to me. And I cannot actually spare myself if I sit in my home and I'm not doing anything else. I feel bored. Maybe I would say that I have been trained by Balwant Singh. He is actually from India, but he has been living in Australia since last 40 years. So he has been a very good mentor to me, I think. And I got a lot of very good things from him, especially this kind of, a hardworking attitude, and then be very honest with science, no compromise on science, actually.
Can you tell me something more about Balwant Singh? I mean, who is he, and how did he mentor?
Balwant is from Haryana. He did his master's from Haryana Agriculture University, and then Balwant Singh he went to University of Reading in UK. So he spent, I think, a couple of years there, but due to the weather, because weather is too much, rainy there. So he used to tell me that, Nabeel, I had to quit actually. Then he came in 1995 to University of Sydney as a lecturer. So now he's working as a professor in soil science at University of Sydney. So So Balwant actually, he's a pure soil scientist in soil chemistry and soil mineralogy. He did his PhD from University of Western Australia. So he has got many recognitions worldwide in soil science community. So if you just go to his profile, you will see that like he's a fellow of many societies. Then he has chaired many conferences. He has been editor-in-chief of Soil Research Journal, which is in Australia from CSIRO.
So what was the specific teaching of him?
He was teaching in their soil chemistry course.
No, I am talking about what mentorship. How did he? What are the biggest learning from that you got from him?
Yeah, first of all, that I think in most of our developing countries, what we are lacking here, that is the professionalism. That you got a student, then this is your responsibility. Like I arrived there, and he came himself, to just pick me up from the airport. Then he already arranged for 1 to 2 weeks my residence with one of his students. So I was living with their family for 2 weeks. Then he arranged different things, like he went with me in the market. Then he went with us to buy many things like refrigerator, like a friend. He gave us very good time to settle us there, and then during the research, what I actually learned from him, that he just told me, Nabeel, we are going to work on arsenic. After that, he didn't tell me that this is the recipe. I just studied for 12 months. Then I was really very much worried that when I will start my work. But during that 12 months, I actually learned a lot of things, and then I developed my own plans. And then he guided me how to refine things. He went, he applied for the synchrotron grant. We went together to Japan. I learned synchrotron, that how to use it, how to apply in soil science. So there are many things actually that you actually.
So he was your PhD supervisor.
Yes, he was my PhD supervisor, and it depends on you that actually whether you want to learn or whether you don't want to learn. So if you want to learn, then you have to bear a lot of things of a supervisor, and these things you only realize when you become a supervisor. When you all
I think.
student.
Yeah, this is also a kind of again similar point, because, and I like that you said so, that if you want to learn, you have to be here. Although I don't need to be here too much, but what I can, if you want only, then you can learn. That is very true. And that remained very true because, my guides, Professor Hiroki Furumai, or that I also, it's all about, if we look at them seriously and we look at from a point of view that I want to learn something. This person knows better than me, and this person can teach me. So when we really adopt somebody as a mentor, our study starts. Our learning starts.
That's very important. Yeah, that's very important.
Actually, here I would like to cite this, what is the effect of idealizing is. Idolizing is very much important because you trust that person. And here I would like to, perhaps you must be knowing that Dronachar and a club, that a club who just made a statue of Dronachar and start learning the, so similar thing is that you said that he just said me arsenic, he didn't tell me how to do this. So similar thing happened there also. So it remains same. If we idolize, we can learn, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like that, I think. And second thing is that I think if you want to learn, then you have to be very positive. In your attitude, you need to ignore some unnecessary things. There are many actually aspects that can easily detract you everywhere else in the world when you are a student.
What I would say is that how did you reach to your PhD topic? I mean, and how did you get the hold of Balwant Singh?
Yeah, it's a kind of a long journey, as I told you. That first, as you know, that just review, reading some papers, some books, He used to send me some papers. He used to send me some links for the books. So University of Sydney has a very good library. So what else we needed, I just go to their website and download it, even if you don't have. So they need if you need something else, so they can arrange it for you from anywhere else in the world. So first 12 months, 14 months, it was only reading, and I was just focusing on reading and developing some ideas. So after that, we had a proposal presentation. So I then discussed some basic plan that Balwant, that how we should go, like phytoremediation. That was one of my study in the field. Some of the speciation work, then some of the modeling work like geospatial modeling. So I appeared in that
Isa ka glass
proposal. I just appeared in that proposal presentation. I was cleared. I was so much happy that I got cleared from my, initial synopsis defense. After that, appeared like in this world, in that we say that developing world, people say that once something has been decided, then it should be like that. So it's not like that. Your PhD keeps changing. How you read, how much you read, and then how much you think, your ideas keep changing. And this is how actually you grow, and you don't overlap with the existing literature. So I think this is how developed my PhD plan. And my PhD was not like that on one single aspect. I learned many things. Like I learned how to do geospatial modeling using R. I learned how to use various instruments, including that synchrotron, and how to do that chemometrics and infrared spectroscopy modeling work, and a lot of field work and lab work. So I think I
So
touched
actually,
every, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, literature review is also, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's very
very
important.
key.
Yeah,
And
very key. Yeah.
I also agree that many times your PhD topic keep changing, and sometimes it happens like you end up with a topic eventually. So my point is that didn't you think that whether this topic is good enough, whether I should be doing something else? Didn't your friend told you that this topic is not happening topic? Or what was the mind going on at that time?
Yeah, I think this is very interesting question, especially for the PhD students when they actually start reading. So this, for example, I was reading papers on arsenic, and then people are doing some work on arsenic, like groundwater treatment of arsenic, and then some people were doing like bioaccessibility work of arsenic. So sometimes I used to say to Balwant, why should I cannot do work on groundwater treatment using different minerals? You are a mineralogist. He said, no, Nabeel, that you have to stick with your own topic. Everybody, a lot of people are working on that, so you don't need to go on that way. I think these are the ups and downs. Sometimes you become so much happy that you think you have solved everything else, and on the next day you feel so much depressed that, oh my god, where I am stuck now. So so I think this is your mentor's responsibility, that he keeps you on the track. Otherwise, if he or she doesn't keep you on the track, so you can be dispersed, and when you are dispersed, you cannot do your PhD in time, and you cannot do a good PhD, and you don't learn things. Then you become confounded kind of individual.
Yeah, actually, because we happen to have talking about PhD, so let's talk on that line itself. Although this question I kept it for further, let's finish this PhD business in one thing. There is
Yeah.
a three key questions. One, you have been answering very honest, and you said that your guide said, okay, stick with this, and so on and so forth. And you have given some lessons for PhD new aspirant also. Now, it is not always a green color, the aspirin. Winter has to come, summer has to come. So during your PhD, whether it has been very a smooth journey, or there was a little bit of, definitely. So do you cite any such example where you were like, okay, the things are not going, but again, it gets it. So only one example from that journey. Second part is that, during PhD or for going for a PhD, I know that I didn't do a test for on myself. I didn't perform a test on myself that whether I should be doing PhD, whether I am fit for PhD. But what is the case in your case?
Yeah, coming first to your first question, I will never say that PhD is a very straight and smooth path. It's so much tortuous. So you go through ups and downs. I remember that I spent bloody 6 months on learning that how to use that Metro Homes pH-STAT system to perform a sorption experiment. I was trying to perform a sorption experiment using biochar and interaction of then different, iron oxide minerals with arsenic, and then how actually DDT can influence the sorption of arsenic. I spent in learning just 3 or 4 months. After that, I performed the experiment and my results were flat. I didn't get, any kind of unique or dramatic findings. Those 6 months just, were bizarre for me. And I was so much depressed. And I remember that I said to Balwant, what should I do? So, then he said, Nabeel, so this is PhD actually. You don't need to worry about that. What else you have learned, it will pay you at the end when you will be finishing with your PhD and you'll be working anywhere else. So at least you know that what you have done, it was not worth writing or worth, considering for further experiments. I think this is the key behind learning. And if you are hesitant of doing anything else with the fear that you will get failed, I think then you can never progress and you can never advance in that specific field. So being experimental, but based on your theory. Your theory should be strong, and then you should be experimental. So this is the very important key to advance in science and get success.
Yeah. So second part, that did you ask yourself that whether you are, made for doing PhD, or did
I
you
don't know.
hold a family meeting that should I go for PhD or not? Because in many cases, people do is like, okay, going abroad seems right, let's go.
Yeah, I think no, actually, my family was very much supportive. My father was very happy that my son is going for a PhD, and also my wife is going for a PhD. We both are going for a PhD. So I think there was no compulsion, or there was no restriction from my family. And yes, I was very happy that I'm not only going for a PhD, I'm going to abroad, and I will have fun there. I will do my studies as well. So I think that was a big fun and big, huge actually achievement doing a PhD from a highly advanced country like Australia. They train you very well. They actually build up your personality as well. It's not only academic, it's your social skill and how you actually stand up as an individual scientist.
Here it is a very tricky question. And one thing again common between I and you is that we were both married and going abroad to do PhD. In that case, what happens is that when you go, you have, and especially you must be leaving government job.
Yeah.
And going for PhD, and you are married. And here, maybe you are having a little bit different that your wife is also going for PhD.
Yeah.
But can you tell me is that how was the transition between after PhD and getting a job, and also that moment and those times?
I think I will say that I was really very much lucky because I just got my degree in February 2012, and in third week of February, so I got an interview call from University of Agriculture, Faisalabad. Still, I was in Sydney, and I appeared in the on the interview online via Skype. And after I think a couple of days, I was informed that you have been selected in this university as an assistant professor. I was really very happy that I didn't actually have to wait for finding a job. So when I came back in April, so I straight away joined in the university and I started my work there. So I didn't face, and it was a very handsome and well-paid job. So it's not, easy to get good amount of money, in our country without doing a PhD. So I think I was very happy. My experience was very smooth. Yeah.
Okay, so as we are talking about the PhD section, so in this second season, we have introduced another section where we will keep inviting some random PhD student or
Okay.
aspirant and let them ask some questions.
Okay.
So, so today we have with us Miss Syria, and she is going to introduce herself, and then she is going to ask. Two or three. So next 5 to 10 minutes is all yours. So she is your host. Okay, go ahead. Syria.
Okay. Hello, Shreya. How are you?
Hello, sir. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you to ask me a question. I don't know why you are asking me. I'm not feeling like. Oh my God.
Okay, so Syria, go ahead and introduce yourself, and it's your time. Yeah, you can start with your question.
Sir, I would like to take this opportunity to ask for your advices. I am very interested in your field of research.
Okay.
Sir, I have done my MSc thesis on hydrogeochemistry. And sir, as a PhD aspirant, what are the most promising directions in this field that I can look forward to pursue as according to you?
Sharia, it's a good question. That actually, fundamentally speaking, honestly, I'm not a hydrogeochemist. I'm an environmental soil scientist, you can say. But why I chose working on water? I did a lot of soil work. During my PhD, I used to fly from Sydney to Lismore. It's 1,000 kilometers from there after every month or 2 months, because I was doing a field experiment there. It was too much soil sampling and then plant sampling, harvest after 6 months. So after that, when I joined here, I said, I will never now work on the soil. So this is how I switched my field from, from soil to water. And I started working on groundwater remediation, groundwater chemistry, you can say hydrogeochemistry. I think it is an interesting area, and water is an essential component for our form of life. So, nowadays, people are facing that groundwater has many issues like groundwater quality, groundwater quantity. So, I don't know what kind of work you are going to plan or what you are after, but I think groundwater recharge. So, how this groundwater recharge actually it can influence. Your groundwater levels. On one side, you are increasing groundwater levels through natural recharge or managed recharge. But on the other hand, you don't know how actually the composition of your recharge water, it will whether it will increase salinity, it will increase fluoride, it will increase nitrate, it will increase arsenic, or it will decrease that. So I think that is a very interesting area, because that is my interest nowadays. So probably I'll be putting my next PhD students on that topic, especially in Pakistan.
Okay, sir. And sir, if you could also give some advice regarding a successful PhD and a bright career after that.
I think I will say just work hard. Don't listen to anybody else. There are many detractors, especially not in. I got a meeting today with my students, with my group, and I said to them that if you listen to me, you will grow. If you will listen to others who are detracting, because the thing is that Manish is very hard worker, and you are in a very good mentor's hand. When you are working, then people who are close to you, who are your friends, so they don't want you actually that you should also work, because they get jealous of you. This is very natural. And then they will say you, okay, oh no, there is no need to work, you will get PhD, I will get PhD. The thing is that listen to them, just ignore uh, all bad things and accept all the goodies, and just stick with your group and stick with your mentor. This is how you will grow, and work hard. Don't listen to anybody else. Very straightforward key. There is no magic in that.
you, sir. Thank you very much.
No problem. My pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Surya, for coming and appearing
Thank
to
you.
this platform. Coming to the little bit professional life now. How has been your journey from after PhD and getting through the postdoc and then doing getting into the job? And what were the the initial days of your assistant professor?
Yeah, actually, I joined, I told you that in 2012, I joined University of Agriculture in Pakistan. So I spent then, I think, 1.5 years here. After that, I planned that I think we should now go again overseas and for some kind of fun and also for a postdoc. Every time the issue was that how to get 2 postdocs, one from myself and one from my wife, because it's a family tour. Yeah. Because my son was also born in Australia, and so I Endeavor Fellowship programs, that Australian Endeavor Fellowship program. So there was some announcement there, and then I and Irshad, I wrote an email to Professor Ed Burton. Actually, I met Ed Burton at World Congress of Soil Science in Brisbane, which happened in 2010. So I met with him because Ed is a big guy. Ed is working a lot of high quality work on arsenic and geochemistry, iron, sulfur, and arsenic. Geochemistry. He met me there. We talked a lot. So that this is how he knew me. He knew Irshad as well. And then I wrote to him that Ed, I'm interested to come on Endeavor Fellowship. Irshad is also interested. Irshad wrote from herself. He was very happy. He said, yes, I'm very happy to host both of you. And then he said that if one of us doesn't get it, then what is the solution? He was, very generous. He straightway wrote to me that, Nabeel, don't worry about it. I got just a project. So if one of you gets and one of you doesn't get, then I will offer you a 1-year fellowship in my project. So it's not a big deal. So I know both of you very well. You are working very good, and your interest and my interest are the same. So I'll be very happy to host both of you. So this is, Irshad got successful, and I didn't get Endeavor Fellowship. So then Ed, I didn't get Endeavor Fellowship, and then Ed said, okay, Nabeel, that's not a big issue. So this is how, I went to Australia for my first postdoc in 2014. I spent about one year there in Lismore at Southern Cross University with Professor Ed Burton. And I learned many new things, which I never knew before, like how to write, how to pitch yourself in writing, how to create impact in your writing. So I learned very good things from him. He trained in that, and then I learned again new aspects of synchrotron, because I and Ed, we both went to Melbourne to use Australian synchrotron again after 2 or 3 years of my PhD. So that was a great learning point. I also submitted a project with Ed Burton that is known as DECRA. So DECRA is like that. It's very competitive, and the project was excellent. He was my mentor in that project, but its success rate is like 7 to 8% every year. So I didn't get it, but then I returned back to Pakistan in 2015. That was my first postdoc.
So here, I really want to talk with you on many research field or those aspects. But here remains a question: is that it is very easy to remain in outside. I mean, if you are doing PhD from abroad, it was very lucrative or very conducive also, and possible also that you could have get a job in Australia itself.
Yeah.
So didn't you think about that option?
Actually, my wife thought a lot, but the thing is that I discussed these things with many people. That should I apply for the immigration or for the PR that most of the people do? Then it comes that it's really very hard to find a good job in overseas countries, especially for the immigrants. You need to be really extraordinary experienced, and then you need to really impress, especially in the academia section. It's very hard. So then I discussed with even my mentor, Balwant, who was my PhD supervisor. So Balwant also suggested me that, Nabeel, if you will go back, so you will get your own recognition after many years. And I think, yes, you have to then compromise. Like here, the standard of life, if you talk about, it's very high in Australia. You enjoy every luxury, everything else. But you cannot then initiate your own group. You cannot actually put yourself as a leader at least 10 to 15 years, because you cannot get a good job or a leadership job there until you spend 10 to 15 years there in Australia. This is everywhere actually. If you go to UK, if you go to USA, in my point of view. But in Pakistan, I think sometimes I think that I made a good decision. So I am very happy here. I'm comfortable. Yeah, there are ups and downs, but but I'm really very happy that I got established myself here, and I now have my own connections, my own collaboration with many people in the world. So people know me from my own group here. That was my point of view.
But I would say that you have been really, your journey has been shaped, and you have been really a man, a successful man behind which there is a successful woman.
Yeah, thank you.
I
Yeah,
mean,
she supported me. She supported me a lot at every single stage, Yeah.
Not only that, but what I said, didn't you get it? That it says that behind every successful man there is a woman. But what I am saying is that here is the case where there is a successful man, and behind that there is another successful woman.
Yeah,
so
just edit it.
She herself is a successful. She has done PhD, being born in subcontinent, the being born, and she got, like you said, in Liver Fellowship and so on and so forth. I have not gone to her profile, but she seems to be like, of course, she holds a PhD degree from abroad. So looking after that, I can say that there is a successful man, but behind that there is a woman who is also successful.
Yeah.
How do you respond to this?
Yeah, I think I think what should I say on that? But I think it's a kind of it's not one way go. It's kind of a mutual understanding. Like when she was expecting our first baby, Aish, his name is Aish. So I think I just gave her enough time to get through that phase. I did just completed my own things. I submitted my thesis, and after that, when that was her turn, then I took care of my baby, our baby, and for almost 6 months. So she used to go to the university in the morning time from 9 to 5. She was just finishing her work, and then she submitted her thesis. I think this is how actually when you understand each other's problems, when you're in the same kind of a field. So this is how then you support each other, you understand each other, and I think I will say that in my success, her role is very important, because if she was not supporting me, and if she was not giving me that much of space to work and to move around different countries, so it was not possible, because you have to prefer also your family. But she understood all these things, and she I think she went with me, and she gave me that space. And it's kind of a mutual understanding, and we got a very good understanding now that we developed our future in that way.
So now, as we have talked about your family and those things, you said just now that you learned a lot from Balbir and also Edward. I want you to specify those learnings for our audience, so that I can clip it out and put it straight away that this is what one should know.
Yeah, for example, if I talk about that, how to develop your, for example, when I was when I was doing my PhD in University of Sydney with Melbourne. So he used to keep us watching in the laboratory that what we are doing, whether we are doing it in a right way or whether we are doing it in a wrong way. He used to ask us, and then he used to invite us at his place and making parties. He used to promote us to go to the conferences, to the workshops, to mix up with other people in Australia, to and do not bind us just in our own small community. So I think in addition to academics, I got a great opportunity to learn these skills when I was there doing my PhD. If I talk about talk about my learning with Ed Burton, I think Ed is a very good guy. He's a good scientist, and he then stands with you if you are on a right place. And this is what I learned from him, that if you are on a right side, then you have to stand for your rights. And secondly, how to, like, writing a proposal. It's not like writing a paper. So for example, when I was doing my DECRA application preparation, he just shared one of his successful project with me. Well, just I think that is a very good mentorship because a lot of people, they do not share their even successful projects with you. People are too much stingy sometimes, but he's a very kind of generous guy in that way. And he told me that we'll just focus that how to pitch your team and how to develop your idea, and just tell the people that blah blah blah, this will do like that. So I think these are the major things that I learned from Ed Burton during that postdoc period. And then he asked me that, Nabeel, can you go really with me to Melbourne if still you cannot go, because he was aware that I have a kid, and then my wife is here. So I used to drop my kid to the school, kindergarten, sorry. And Irshad, actually, she doesn't know how to drive, so he was aware of that. So he then said to me that if you are not comfortable, please do not come, it's okay for me. I think these are those things which if you ask somebody else, and then it develops a lot of trust between him or her and you. So these are very good I think learnings in my life. But after that
So,
I yeah so yeah
yeah. So after that, what?
After that, I got another opportunity to work as a research scientist in Germany as a postdoc research scientist with Professor Andreas Lutke. So basically, he is a geochemist and mineralogist. And so there, what I learned actually, what is the leadership from him? So how to trust on your team. I think that is the very important part I learned, and I acknowledge it everywhere, even in front of him, that Andreas, I really learned from you that how to own your team, how to trust on your team, and how to show your leadership skills. So I think, and then how to actually expand what else you are doing.
So
Yeah.
I mean, now actually the goal of this interview is to really decode. If I say I learned swimming, that may not help many people. So I would like you to tell me. Now we know your resource, that from where you learned, but what you learned. I mean, what are the key things for leadership, and how to trust about your own team? Can you specify?
Yeah, I think this is I think this is a very good question, and these things actually you learn sometimes from your family, sometimes from your mentors, so and if sometimes from a good friend. So I think from Andreas in Germany, I learned, for example, he used to call a meeting, and then he used to ask from everybody else that if you have an issue, if you have a problem, let me know. So and then what else somebody was saying to him, whether that was a productive or a non-productive answer. So he used to he used to trust on that. And so and then he used to push me that, Nabeel, if you want to apply for a project, you can apply for a project on that. So I think these are the fundamental things that a mentor actually holds in his or her profile, and then he can transfer to their group. So,
I mean,
yeah.
What is the key? Of course, you are citing some incidents that these are the incident, and I can get it that he trusted you. That's why he shared his proposal, successful proposal, and that proposal might have given you a lot of learning, which you even can point out or can make a list of it. But leave that lesson. What is leadership for Nabeel?
Ignore.
How does he
leadership in my opinion, leadership says that you need to ignore all small bits and pieces. You need to ignore that what somebody is doing, the small things, they never matter actually. You need to listen to everybody else. And then, for example, if somebody is sometimes somebody is doing a good progress, sometimes somebody is not doing a good progress, you need to ignore those bad facts. And you need to give some time. You need to be patient, and you need to be a listener rather than a speaker always. I think these are the basic things if you want to lead a good group. You need to be really very patient.
Finally, I am now extracting what I wanted to extract. That so three key things that you have just mentioned is really nice. I want you to be in that form because that I need more from you. Is that you said ignore, be a good listener, and the small thing doesn't matter much. This is what leadership is. Carry on. I mean, just I would say that. How do you solve the conflict as a leader?
I think you need to just listen to somebody else, and after both both candidates, they have just expressed their grudges, and now they are let them actually express themselves. It's a self-catharsis. So I think after listening to both of them, finally they'll be happy to meet each other when you will say, okay, now you both have exhausted yourselves, now please go ahead, be a good friend and leave this. I think that is very easy way to do like that.
One more thing is that leadership is not only about like other conflict with two other person, but maybe you yourself is in conflict with somebody. That time, how do you do the troubleshooting?
I never do like that.
You are never in conflict with anybody?
No, I don't express it. When you are working with somebody else, you just ignore. I told you that I ignore things. I don't create any kind of conflict. I just ignore things for the time being, and then I give some time for myself. I give time to the others, and then I again regain that same kind of relationship. Never. So I think if you will be starting, conflicting even with students. So it's just, wastage of your energy. Yeah. I never do that.
I want to talk on this a little bit more because this is really great thing, even new for me also. And I can concur because I have seen that the sum of the problem solve itself. Solve itself. You don't need to just, what you can do the best is that wait a bit, the problem will find its solution itself.
I think I have learned from my experience since last 9 years. So if you are just wasting your energy in trying to really train in some specific way to some to your students, or if you are trying to get engaged with your collaborators in a way that you want actually, so I think this is not a right way to do that. So try to make a track where you are comfortable and where the second person is comfortable. If you will try to be yourself only comfortable, that relationship never goes ahead. And if you will just let the other people cross that boundary and be in a comfortable zone, so that relationship never goes. So try to manage that track. That's very important.
But how to? I mean, what you are saying
Patience.
is that
Patience. Yeah, you need patience, and it comes with experience and time. I was very impatient in start, but with the passage of time, I tried to overcome these weaknesses.
So how did you overcome the weaknesses?
I think this is I don't know.
Again,
but
practice. I know that.
Yeah, you have to bear that. Yeah, you have to modify your habits. Yeah.
Actually, where we reached somehow some of my conversation or some of time we are not able to reach where we are talking. We are scratching the ground where after that there may be gold or diamond. But I can tell you that because of this principle, you've been able to grow a very, very great network. Yeah. Your profile at Google Scholar and the names among your co-authors itself suggests that how you are good at building relationship and a good network.
Yeah.
So I am now want to have a transition and ask you that how to build a good network, how to maintain it, and how to keep nourishing it. How do you approach somebody, and how do you go when you become old with a new person? How do you do that?
Yeah. So I think so. This is how I think it's all about your credibility. That, for example, when you invite somebody else to contribute into your paper, that and after that you get a feedback, and then you make a collaborative relationship, or you can say a collaboration in friendship, collaborative friendship. So it takes some time. It's not so easy to convince somebody else, or to trust on somebody else, or somebody else to let you trust on you. So people actually, they see your quality of work. Once they will recognize your quality of work, I think there is no magic then. Automatically you will build that very good relationship, and then you have to keep that relationship going on. So this is very important thing. So never, it's like a family, because when we live in a family, if you are not calling to each other, you will forget each other. So it's better to stay in touch in conferences. It's better to stay in touch via emails. Sometimes, like I communicate on WeChat with my Chinese friends. So I think first develop some good relationship like a family member, and then try to keep it, and ignore all the negativities.
Minor
What
things.
else? Yeah. So these are minor things. I think better thing is that how to develop your good relationship. That's very important, like in a family.
Actually, this portion has been really nice because what you are talking, and I just told my audience that you have just entered into a 40s, but such kind of clarity even in 50s, getting until 50s is very, very rare. And so I congratulate you that besides your acumenship or the skill of as a researcher, maybe as a person you have been in a very thorough journey. And anybody can look at your network and you can understand that there has been, you have been really, really must have ignored a lot of bad happenings. And
that's the key. That's the key. You have to ignore.
So here I would like to ask you two very pertinent questions. One is that, do you think anger is natural, or anger is necessary, or if anger is human? And yes or no, but how do you do? Do you become angry? And if so, how do you do anger management?
I think I used to be angry when I was young so often.
You are young. Please. You are young. I can tell you 35 years until it is. You have not been. Don't tell when I was young, you are at Sijan Scholar. That's nice. Congratulations. But you are young.
So
yeah.
I think
young.
I used to be a little bit more precise that when I was in my university life. So I was not too much experienced, and I used to be quite often angry and different kind of things with my family or with my friends. So still, anger comes to me nowadays, but I just manage it. I just absorb it. I don't express my anger until or unless it is really necessary. Otherwise, I just control it. So that
how do you think that it is now? It is necessary.
I think this is you learn with your life, where it is necessary and where it is not necessary. Especially, like in West, when I was spending my life, you don't need to be angry there. But here, sometimes you need to be angry, and then sometimes you don't need to be angry. Sometimes you have to show your actual response or your expressions to somebody else that I don't.
Sometimes fake anger. Many times I do fake anger with my students because that's how it has to be.
Yeah. It's like that. But being angry is not a good thing. It just gives you stress. Yeah.
So anger management. Anything specific that you do?
I think exercise. Exercise is the best thing that most of us don't do too much.
Yes. Thank you for talking on our behalf also. So that is most of us do not do. That is really I also got.
Or we are not regular. Or we are not regular.
Not regular. Okay. Now we will go to the domain of publication.
Yeah.
So this is we have crossed all those the thing, and now let's say about the publication. You just mentioned that writing a paper and writing a project are different. Can you specify in which way? Yeah, I'm sorry to asking you the decode your skill, but that is maybe you can do it.
No, it's okay. I have no issue with that. If somebody can learn something from me, I'll be very happy. I think in a paper, you need to go in a deep science for a good quality paper so that people can really understand what is happening behind that. And in a project, you don't need to give very nitty and gritty science, but you need to give a big problem, a global picture, and then how you are solving it in a very common man language that everybody can understand it, because the reviewers, they are not actually special to your own field. They're not interested in very minor details, but they are more interested in a big picture. What is the problem, and then what is the novelty that you are bringing to solve that problem, and then how you are pitching it, and then how you are achieving it using a detailed methodology. So I used to use some kind of schematic diagrams for every single component that I will be covering in my project. So I think then reader, he or she doesn't need to go through the whole very detailed writing. It's very hard to read that kind of thing. Just look at the schematic diagram and it can be easily picked up. And it depends. It's not kind of a very general kind of skill, but as you need to look actually where you are submitting your proposal. For example, if you are submitting like on arsenic work into a health agency, then you need to pitch the health issues, and then what kind of solutions you are bringing to resolve many health issues. If you are writing for a fundamental project, then you need to really highlight those fundamental hypotheses or questions. So but it takes time. It's not a magic, overnight magic. So it takes a lot of time. When you are writing, you learn. This is what actually Ed told me, that Nabeel, there's no magic. Just read and write. You will learn that. It's like that.
Great. I also told today itself or yesterday that, swimming, driving, writing,
Yeah.
you cannot do without getting it
Practice.
without doing it.
Yeah.
So you have to start writing and learn writing. You have to jump into the water and start doing swimming. You have to get the vehicle out and you will learn the driving. You cannot do it by reading the manual. Having said that, now you have covered a lot in terms of project. But how about paper? How could you, and here I would like to have a little bit more specified for a review paper, because you did write some of the very good review.
Yeah, sometimes they take 2 years or more than 2 years. Yeah, this
so
is
that is very important point you told just in the beginning, because those who think that this 5,000 plus or 7,000 citations come overnight, no. Anybody has burnt a lot of oil to get it done.
Yeah, it's very hard, writing. I think writing. I think you learn with practice, and then you learn with reading, because if you're not doing reading, you cannot go into a deep science. If you're not in touch with the recent literature, you cannot do a good writing. And publishing doesn't matter actually, but I think you have to put up some good science, and this is how people then recognize your work, and this is how you can get high citations. So I never go after too many publications. I just do some good publications which actually people want to see in the scientific literature. So this is what I learned actually from 3 mentors: Balwant, Edward Burton, and Andreas. So 3 of them are excellent in their field.
I mean, very much important is that you said that sometimes it takes 2 years or so, but many paper, like recent of my paper on Ganga Brahmaputra comparison, if you will see, I wrote a proposal in 2010-11. I got a funding on 2012. That project ended in 2015. All sampling happened between that, and then it took 5 years more to complete that paper.
Yeah, it's like that.
And then it will come in 2021 when I have many other papers, and then people say, how can you write so many papers? Actually, go and see that this is not written. This is just finished in this year.
It's very hard. It's very hard, things. It's not like that you are doing work and then you can publish in the same year. Sometimes you publish it after 4 or 5 years. Just you think about it. For example, sometimes you sit down and you think, and you write only 1 line. After 1 week or after 2 weeks. So it's like that. It's not an easy job. Writing is very different, especially for the non-English speaking people like us. It's really very hard. It takes time.
So in my opinion, the publication year is the finishing year. It is not the journey. It is that, okay, this journey ended that time, and perhaps it is not an end. It is just a milestone that we put out. And still the journey continues. Still the journey of investigating arsenic in Ganga Brahmaputra maybe will continue for decades to come, and for many people to come.
And second important thing that I think a researcher, when you are in early career, you have to define your field very carefully once, and do not we should not actually deviate from that. For example, I started working on arsenic, and I wrote projects on arsenic. I did a lot of work on that, and I stuck to that. Then I introduced different other fields, but I kept my journey with arsenic, like with biochar, with biomaterials, with soil, with water, with the rice, with humans. So I think this is very important. This is how actually people then one day know you, that he's the guy or she's the lady that is working on that specific topic. Because if you will diversify yourself in very start, so then you cannot stand anywhere else in the world.
I can see a little bit while you have not pointed this at me, but I see my work very diversified. What I could do or see is that, yes, you also said that you have diversified after some experience. And it is also said that maybe if you will go to the different domain and just catch the lower hanging fruit, maybe that is not get you anywhere until you do the 70%. So what I do is that if I started in some field, I do not, I make sure I do not end that. I mean, I make sure that I continue doing in that field. So at this moment, although I am very spread and diverse, but thanks to several PhD and several master degree that I guided. But like if arsenic, I know that now I make sure that always one of my PhD must be working on arsenic. If I do in some metal speciation and toxicity, somebody should work on that. Keep on my those things. And for now, COVID, which eventually happened, and I wish COVID would have never been there. This pandemic would have never been there. A lot of lovely ones, soul would have not departed. But if I continued that this COVID and the environmental, I would say microbiology and some kind of part of dealing with the living contaminants or pathogens, I would make sure that I keep on doing work in that line.
I think that is excellent.
What I felt
that is excellent. That has been excellent, because I think that is not only work. I think that is kind of a contribution in society to resolve their issues, because this is how, I have read a couple of your papers on that, and this is how you can actually predict before time that in that specific locality that epidemic is emerging again. And I think I don't think so that you are too much deviating from your field, because you're focusing on water, and you have been doing a lot of work on water. And I think when you grow, then you develop all these skills that water, arsenic, fluoride. So I don't see too much deviation from your own field.
So you have been one of the peer, and naturally you qualify for that, and same vice versa. A couple of paper you must have reviewed of mine. I have reviewed for you. Maybe you don't know. I don't know. But I am sure that it must have happened. So here one thing is very much important is that the skill set. Many times, some of the so-called only microbiologists, they put question that, oh, you are a opportunist microbiologist or something like that. But
that's so personal.
No. So let it be. But
I think.
But they don't know that. So I mean, let's suppose that. But they don't know that I am a national eligibility certificate holder for lecturer of life science. I have a net in life science. I got JRF in the life science. You as a basic trainer is, I wanted to become a doctor. So it means that I learned a lot about the biology. And so that is how it makes. But here I want to cite one example, Nabeel, because this may be why this seasoned scholar is doing great is that it is a talk between two scientists, right? The many times whoever has come, they definitely knows that, okay, this is conversation with Manish. So what I have done when I did COVID, I realized the same experience I put it there, because in our the contamination field, groundwater field, we always do this zonation, or we do that, this area is more contaminated, this area is those, we put GIS and we make the map, right? When I do the COVID, you can see one paper that I published in Science of Total Environment. I again write CT zonation based on the SARS-CoV RNA concentration also. So see, so that's if a person from, let's suppose, worker of this field meet this field, always a confluence starts. And that brings new thing, that brings that. So I put more perspective on management part, that how can we make this data more meaningful, more useful and for a water managers. So that is one example I would like to cite to you. And another example is that about antibiotic resistance. Antibiotic resistance, again, we wrote a project with Japan, my Japanese collaborators, and I learned how to do this, the ARB test or ARG test. And then when I got data, my explanation was, or interpretation of such data, it was entirely new because I had no burden of what is going on. I had no burden of that, what is the set idea in this field. So I wrote a couple of papers which brought a lot of thinking. And like I wrote, wastewater increases the antibiotic resistance. I wrote that there is a correlation between metal and microplastic with antibiotic resistance. I wrote that the seasonal variation in the antibiotic resistance. So these all that happened is because of the two field merges, and then it brings this one. So these are the few examples.
And then you get critics, huh? People say, "Oh, what is he doing?" I think this is very normal. Don't take them on. Just ignore them.
But my grandfather used to say that if there is more critic, it means you are doing good.
Yeah. So that's very normal everywhere,
Yes.
Same with me. Yeah.
So Nabeel, but what I again getting back to you is that I know that another thing is that you are you celebrate fatherhood. You are, and that is something is good about our generation. Maybe our father had no time, or our parents had no time, but this generation is taking care of that. If I would say and put this question like, would you like your son to become a professor or be in this domain, or what you will do?
Actually, I don't suggest him to be a professor, honestly speaking. Because thing is that you have to go through a very, very kind of hard time, and then you have to spend very hard time. So I think there are many good fields nowadays. Like, I motivate him that you should prepare yourself to go to Harvard, Stanford, MIT, like to do some kind of bachelor's and then master's, and establish yourself as a leader. You can develop your own companies. You can actually give consultancies to the businesses. So something like that, in software engineering or in any other engineering kind of thing. So he is very interested actually in that kind of field. He's not very interested to be a professor in a university. So
surprisingly, I would not. I am not saying it for the sake of this interview, but I also say my son to become an entrepreneur, and I don't know because perhaps we have ended that study life, so we see that
too much. It's boring now.
So this is one of the common point. So Nabeel, it is of course our conversation is now going to be in third hour, but I will go into the very quickly. I have added another segment. Here I am going to ask you very rapid fire kind of thing. Is that rapid fire is going to be in two ways. One is about yourself, and one about your professional thing. It means I will name your collaborator or co-author. You have to say 2 lines and 3 lines max about that collaborator, which comes into your mind. Don't be very diplomatic. Okay, so here we go. I will go as per the maximum paper they are having with you. So Dr. Muhammad Shahid.
Shahid is my very good friend. We have been actually class fellows, and he's one of the persons in Pakistan actually I have trusted on. And why our chemistry matches, because I think we keep the same strategy, that ignore, just be good friends and transform that friendship into a very good collaboration. And then when he's so much busy, I support him. When I'm so much busy, then he gives me a lot of time. And we have developed a very good team of some very productive students. So Shahid is a very nice person, very nice person. Yeah.
Great. This is also, I hope my collaborators are listening, my friends are listening, where we can ignore things and then convert it into a fruitful collaboration. Professor Young-Sik Ok.
Young-Sik, I think he's a nice guy. He's such a nice guy. He's very sportive. Like when first time I contacted him, and he offered me that, Nabeel, I have all the facilities here, and what else you want to send to me, like for analysis on XRD, ICP, SEM, and FTIR, because unfortunately all these facilities were unavailable in Pakistan. And he offered me all these, and I sent my samples to Korea. He did all that analysis and he interpreted and he contributed scientifically, and this is how we started our collaboration. And it has been long lasting, and still we are in touch, and he considers myself at several platforms in the conferences. Sometimes I have to say no, because sometimes I'm very busy, like due to my health. I don't actually say yes for many things, because then you have to prepare it very hardly. But I met Young-Sik in 2018. He invited me as an invited speaker in Korea.
Yeah, in one conference.
So I was very happy to see him there, along with many other of my friends that you will see in my profile as well.
How about Professor Nanthi Bolan?
Oh, Nanthi. What good thing is about Nanthi? Nanthi is, very kind of jolly person. And Nanthi is one of the reviewers of my thesis. You know that?
No.
my PhD thesis, yeah. So he was one of that. And then in 2014, first time when I contacted him, we were writing a review for CREST, one of my PhD students. So I requested him that please accept my invitation, and I was really surprised that he significantly contributed in that review. And after 15 months, when that paper was rejected, then he motivated me that, Nabeel, don't worry, just write a good rebuttal to him, to the editor-in-chief, and say blah, blah, blah. And you know what happened? That I submitted after that rejection again to the editor-in-chief, and he straightaway accepted our paper. So that is a very nice mentorship from Nanthi actually.
Daniel Sang.
Daniel Sang is a nice guy. I started communicating with him in 2017, and then I met him in 2017 at Pvt in Zurich. So that was a great meeting, and he's very, very sportive. He's very kind. He never, seeks that I will give something to him. No, never. He's like a friend. He's like a very good personal friend. Mathika, I met Mathika in 2018 at Korea. What I like about Mathika that she's a lady and she has been very hardworking. What I loved into her profile. And then that in our kind of societies, emerging in that kind of male-dominated society from a woman, I think it needs a lot of courage. Then good thing about her, she's a very good scientist. And she also promotes a lot of her students, and she communicates very well. So I think this is what I know about her.
Yeah. I have interviewed her, and that was a very super hit interview.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And last but not the least, Ravi Naidu.
Ravi Naidu, yeah. Ravi, I think I contacted first time with Ravi in 2012. I never actually met him until 2017. He was one of the organizers of Pvt in Zurich, and I moved from Germany to Zurich to attend that conference. He was also there. I met with him. I think Ravi is a good leader, and I think I learned many good aspects of leadership from Ravi as well. He's very kind. He always supported me for different aspects. Like I remember in 2013, we were doing some speciation work of groundwater arsenic. So we sent many samples to Ravi, and
Yeah.
he offered, to do all those without any kind of hesitation.
Yeah, actually, these are some of the names and which we come across. And thanks for shedding light on that. Before I go and ask you about the rapid fire, about you as a person, your favorite food and movie and all that stuff, how about talking about 2 or 3 aspects? One is about research trend or environment in Pakistan. I mean, so how you have been seeing it changing over the years?
I think
so. Comparison of Pakistan with Pakistan.
I think in Pakistan, research has been really progressed. It has really progressed. But the problem is that the research environment is very weak. When I say research environment, it includes the financial support from the universities or from the government. It includes the good working space to the students. It includes, there's a good professional space to the researchers, because the things should be systematic. Still, I think Pakistan is going through a transition phase. People are very hard worker, but we need a good system to be more specific and to be more progressive.
Tell me some of the milestones, because when I see your CV, I cannot pick what is more close to your heart and what is not, because all seems a great achievements. Some of them I have used as your introduction, but what were some of the turning points in your career?
Yeah, actually, I think it is not especially only for me. Everybody likes to get some kind of milestone, to get some kind of achievement. Like when I was selected as a global member of UNESCO chair for groundwater arsenic.
Wow.
So I was really very happy that from Pakistan I am representing Pakistan, and then I got this highly cited Web of Science recognition. So I think this is the most exciting movement, especially for a scientist, including myself. In addition to that, now if I will say that I put now my most of efforts, what I will decide in my future, where I want to go, what I have to do, I will think more about my family, especially about my son, that how actually I can now do something really different thing, that he can get those goals which I have suggested him to achieve. So that's actually would be my turning point, that when my son will be a successful person in his life.
So this is coming to your last section, where we will talk about the very not grilling thing. So this is okay. Tell me that about world's top 3 challenges at present and future as a researcher, because you know that you have really that experience that you can, as of now, what you see our humanity's 3 big challenge.
I think sustainability.
Yes.
That how actually we can make our life more sustainable, less materialistic, less materialistic, and living with nature. Secondly, that only, I think doing only science at this stage, what I think is not enough. I think doing science plus thinking with some kind
lab to field,
with some kind of impact in society, like people can starting benefit of that. And actually this is not possible without good collaboration of governments and without good collaboration of the industry, and as well as for the university. And thirdly, I think what should I say? I think
water.
like I work like I work on water. I work on in soil, so we should go for those options, which are sustainable options to increase our water security, our food security, the food we eat, especially its quality. So I think these are the important challenges if I will be thinking as a researcher according to my own field.
Great. Now this is part C. This is very informal. Relax. This is just being human. So just very briefly, what excites you about your work? Networking, visiting other country.
I think I love to visit to many countries.
Yeah, that is also one.
This is the most relaxing part.
I do agree. Tell me what you like to do when you are not working on research.
Like I actually spent good time at home.
With family?
Yeah, with family, like helping sometime my wife for a little bit of things and
listening ghazal. You like ghazal or not?
I like some old ghazals of Kishore Kumar and then Lata. Some old songs from Asha Bhosle, but I also like all advanced music. Some very good music.
My many friends from Pakistan.
English.
They really big fan of Kishore Kumar, especially this Pakistan and from Nepal. How do you handle pressure?
Sorry?
How do you handle pressure?
Pressure. I think this is I should say quality in me, or I should say not a quality in me. I think keeping yourself calm for a time being and think about it, give yourself time, do not react immediately, and think about it, and then you have to react. This is how you have to absorb pressure sometimes. But
give yourself time.
Yeah, it's important that do not react immediately. Give yourself some time to react. Yeah.
What if things don't work?
Sorry, what are you saying?
What if things do not work?
Okay. Then I just say, okay, that's God's will.
Actually, you are giving a very great formula without making it very hyper. You know that accepting failure as a God will is a big help.
It's because this is how you can satisfy yourself.
So next question is, research is never ending. When do you take retirement? Of course, when do we take requirement or stop? I mean, you said that your priority has changed, but in future, what are your plan? You would want to enjoy the journey, go slow, or you have still some of the milestone in your mind. I have to win Nobel, or I have to go to UN as a peace, the representative, or what?
I think I need to when I will think about it, I need to balance it. Like honestly speaking, I don't have a big ambition that I need to be a laureate or I go to win the Nobel Prize. So I think I'm just working and I'm contributing my part in a good science. And if it is recognized, I don't know whether it will click or not. But I don't think in a way that I have that target. I think that's enough. And we are learning and we are doing good science. We will be promoted now. Like I'm associate, maybe I'll be promoted after a couple of years to a professor. And because my priority is not only now science, my priority is my family as well. So this is a difference, I think, where I should make now this difference.
Again, I will take a couple of seconds for emphasizing or the importance that you just have said. You know that sometimes it's the journey, not the destination. Keeping destination in mind may make you make mistakes during the journey.
Yeah.
You just go through some of the milestones. Let it be left.
Yeah.
Let it be left, because I didn't had. So this is what it is. Actually, my next question was balancing family life and professional ambitions. You have already answered it. But anything specific that you do?
I think
for balancing family life and professional ambition?
I think there's nothing you need to do. Just I don't remember that whenever since last 9 years, I don't remember that I quit my office late. I never go late. I never quit late. So just spend your office time in your office, and then when you come home, then give good time to your family. Yes, there are a couple of days. For example, if you are meeting some project deadlines, then you can work 1 hour or 2 hours during the late hours when your kid is sleeping or when your wife is sleeping. So this is how you manage it. But I think you should never imbalance these things.
Your 3 major strengths.
My 3 major strengths. I think I don't know about. You should tell me my major strengths. I don't know.
No. What I can get is that you feel you appeared very certain.
I think you should be honest. You should be humble, and you should.
No. It is not about should be. It's about you. Your 3 strengths. So just you can say I am humble, or I am honest, or I am this one. Yeah.
I think it doesn't look good to say like that, but if you say I can repeat it again, that I think that I am humble. I am a little bit very straightforward, that I don't hide things in my heart. What else I feel, I say to my wife or I say to my friends, but in a very polite way, that this is what I'm feeling about him or her. And then third thing is that I think I work hard. So these are the 3 points that make my life.
No, that are 3 major strengths.
Yeah, progressive, and also balanced in society. Yeah.
Something you are not good at.
Something I'm not good at. What should I should be actually honest. Let me think about it.
Yes.
I think I'm not good at making some new relations, in the society, because I have confined myself to, networking is very important. Like I'm not good in giving good time to my friends, not good in making some new relations in the society due to workload, and then confined a little bit more to my family. I think I am social, but after job, I'm not so much social because I have given too much time to my job. I think that's not a good thing.
Your most favorite, now it is the favorite part, your favorite author.
My favorite what?
Author.
Author in literature or in science?
Anything.
Okay. Honestly speaking, I'm not a good reader. Yeah, I didn't read too many books from literature, but I like poetry of Ahmad Faraz. He's from Pakistan, and he's a very good poet. I liked his poetry. I read his poetry, but I don't remember. I cannot remember actually poetry. I'm not very good in it. Yeah.
Actually, it is the same. Our job is to read and write. So after that, again, reading is.
Yeah, it's very tough.
Whenever I get a time, I read my papers, read the others' papers, write.
Okay.
What is your favorite food?
Any kind of food, if it is cooked well, I can eat.
But continental, Chinese, Korean, of course, maybe some.
I like actually Pakistan. I'm not talking about Pakistani food, but yeah, I like biryani when my wife cooks it. I like Turkish food, and then I like Japanese food as well, like sushi, Japanese soup. I like that too much.
Yeah, Japanese food is my weakness.
Excellent.
What is your favorite possession?
favorite possession?
Possessions, yeah, like your laptop, your car, or something.
I think I like my laptop too much. Yeah, I always actually prefer to have a high quality laptop and a high quality phone. These are my favorites.
So both are from Apple.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your favorite book?
Favorite book? Honestly speaking,
Not
what should
recent
I say?
time. You.
In recent times, I didn't read actually a lot of books, but I read many books when I was in my uni times, but I don't remember the names, honestly speaking. But I remember that yeah, if because I read many scientific books, but I don't want to mention them here.
Yeah.
But in literature, I think I like poetry books of from Ahmad Faraz, and then some of the books from what's her name, Noshi Gilani. She's a very good writer. I read a couple of books from her, but I don't remember, honestly speaking.
Okay.
Sorry.
Your favorite movie?
There are many favorite movies. I like English
Well,
movies.
some
I like,
Hollywood, Bollywood, and of course you can say Pakistani.
I like Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Mission Impossible 1, Mission Impossible
Yeah,
2, 3.
yeah.
Then I like Avengers movies. I used to sit with my kid, and I like
This is
Iron Man.
Avenger.
Yeah, Iron Man 1,
Yeah.
Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Captain America, many. Yeah.
Okay. Any Bollywood movie?
Yeah, I watch many Bollywood movies. Like I used to tell my wife and my kid that you know this song. I was of 10 years age when I watched this movie from Amir Khan, from Sulaiman Khan, from Shah Rukh Khan, from all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So any specific movie from Hollywood that you really love?
I remember that.
Don't forget you are ambassador of peace.
No. Just a minute. Let me think about it. Because I've watched many movies. So if I talk about movies, which specific movie I would say that I like the most? I remember that Thakshak was a very good movie. Tabo was
Tabu, Ajay Devgan.
Ajay Devgan. Yeah, I like that movie too much. Yeah, Company.
Company. Wow.
Kind
Okay.
of,
That is. I didn't see.
Sajan.
Yeah, I didn't see coming, but these are really good movies.
Yeah,
What about
Sajan is
your favorite actors, both male and female?
yeah, from Pakistan, I like nowadays Faisal Qureshi. He's a very good, genuine actor. Numan Ijaz, and that's it. In Hollywood, I like Will Smith, Tom Cruise, Sylvester. Some movies, yeah.
Favorite quote and favorite mantra. I mean, anything that is you more often say to any quote.
I think in life, we need to enjoy, we need to work, and we need to give good time to your friends, your family. And this is how you can contribute into your society and into your country's progress.
Any bucket list for future that I want to go Hawaii?
Yeah, I want to go Hawaii. I like it. I want to go to I want to go to China, and I want to go to many European countries that I haven't visited, like Budapest, Hungary, and then Czech Republic, especially in Prague. These are my wish list. These are in my wish list. Yeah.
Any three person in your domain, researcher that you look up to?
Sorry, I missed your question.
That you look up to, that you follow very passionately or
I think
closely.
honestly speaking, that I don't idealize people. Honestly speaking, I never idealized people from my childhood. Yeah, but I just look into their their innovations or their success, and I try to filter good things from each single people. Yeah, but I don't idealize. Yeah, I don't idealize.
Okay. If you, last question of this conversation, and that I promise, if you were not an academician, what you would have been?
Maybe a pharmacist, maybe a doctor. Yeah.
You never gave a thought of it.
Yeah, I never give a thought. Yeah.
Just to give a thought now. If you were not a researcher, what you would have become or think that would have given you the peace?
I think
I feel like if I have not been this, maybe becoming a writer, a novelist would have helped me.
no, I could never be a writer. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then. Actually, there were some questions. Somebody said I would have been an electrician. Somebody has said that my promotion told I would have been a basketball player. Methika told she could have been a coach. She could have been a coach.
I can tell that I could be an artist. Yeah, I loved art from my childhood, but you know, art has not a bright future, in our countries. So that's why I didn't prefer that. Yeah, otherwise I would be.
So it's a kind of painting or something.
Painting, yeah, painting, or statue making, some kind of these things.
So thank you very much for being honest, for staying for 2+ hours, and yeah.
Thank you so much to you, Manish. Bye bye then.
Yeah. So
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
So see you, and yeah. Bye.
See you.
Have a great night.
You too.